Fill me in on what's happening with High Times.
So High Times went under like last year. They haven't posted since June on their magazine or on their website. The founder and chairman pled guilty to conspiracy charges involving over $150K in undisclosed payments to a stock analyst.
What were the payments for?
So it was part of a fraud scheme to boost their stock and help raise at least $6 million from investors. When you go public, when you have stock, your investors and stuff, they're supposed to know like how much profit you're earning every year because, you know, they're investing in your company, so they need to know the numbers. So I think what he was doing was paying off the stock analysts to like artificially boost their numbers to make it seem like their was better than us so that they would get more investments in return.
That's basic. The stock analyst is out here manipulating the stock information to lie to their investors. And this is obviously white-collar crime, federal offense.
Very white-collar.
Yeah. So he could face up to 5 years. Don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know enough about finance to understand the nitty-gritty, but fraud.
High Times is kind of going through it right now. NEI. Yeah, and the crazy thing is they haven't said anything. There's been no public statement.
Really?
Even basically ghosting on socials.
Because what was the reason they're kind of going out of publication anyway?
I think it was kind of like Vice. It was like a combination of bad leadership and money problems.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he was trying to inflate their stock.
To make more money.
And
to stick around.
Save the magazine, but it did not work.
This is kind of crazy though. Like the cultural, I guess, ramifications of High Times not existing anymore. It definitely changes the industry, cannabis culture.
Isn't it one of the oldest running cannabis magazines? Like
yeah, take a look at it. This magazine's one of the first ones you think of as High Times.
Yeah, so it's kind of tragic. So I guess I'm staying tuned to see how the loss of High Times is going to affect cannabis news.
Yes.
If there's maybe a little space for a different cannabis magazine, this is what's been there. Everyone in this room and everyone who works in cannabis media has encountered some sort of censorship. I'm wondering why High Times readership was going down and why, you know, it's become difficult for them to survive.
Yeah. Even in the last few months, we've seen like Puffco's Instagram got deleted. There's so much censorship going on. There always has been, but right now it's especially prevalent.
It begs the question of what does the future look like of like, will it get easier to talk about this stuff?
Yeah.
Or will it get harder? Which I think shifts really well into the rescheduling conversation.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
in a nutshell, nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Yes. I read yesterday on veriheal.com/blog that the acting administrator for like the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, accused the Department of Justice of like hijacking it from them because he has historically said like tabloid level shit about weed, you know, tying marijuana to school shooting and stuff like that. And now he's returned to the DEA and is trying to put a halt to the whole thing together.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like infighting with this. Obviously, this came into light under the Biden administration and now we're in a Trump administration. So it's completely different. It's a mess. Nobody can seem to get organized, and it seems as though the DEA is kind of like sabotaging in certain ways.
Right.
They kind of are because they had these hearings set up. They were supposed to start a few days ago. They all got canceled. And people from both sides of the, you know, weed spectrum were supposed to speak. But the DEA was favoring and having unfair conversations with anti-cannabis groups.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they were intentionally like leaving out groups like Doctors for Drug Policy who oppose cannabis and who wanted to speak. So now those pro-cannabis groups are filing petitions and things with the court to say, hey, we were intentionally being left out of this. There's clearly some bias here.
Well, what is the anti-cannabis argument?
Weed bad.
Yeah, and I think, too, just having this guy in charge of the DEA again, he's so anti-cannabis. That is a huge part of it. Like, that it's like, this doesn't matter.
Exactly. Trump, like, hasn't announced his pick for the leader of the Drug Enforcement Administration. And so, like, that could change.
Yeah, the current guy's just like an acting chairman. It might not be permanent.
But even with like his pick for the attorney general and his other picks, they're kind of all on the anti-cannabis train.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to say all.
Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy is in favor of psychedelic legalization and all this other stuff. So there's these really conflicting stances coming in right now. It's not really clear who's going to win.
Yeah, it's very certain.
And it's frustrating because every cannabis scientist, every cannabis researcher, every cannabis doctor is like, not addictive. Yeah. Yeah, like coffee's more addictive.
So the whole process has been delayed for at least 3 months. There's no telling what will happen after that.
Dude, and I hate just hanging in the balance.
The hearings were supposed to start like last fall, and then they got pushed to December, and then they got pushed again. For now, it seems like it's still fully in the state's hands.
The new administration also has a lot of other things that are higher on their to-do list. Cannabis rescheduling is not really one of the things that they're focused on. Yeah, I can anticipate that we will have to wait a long time to know any news about it.
I guess we're staying too. Will y'all report it?
We'll let you know. Don't worry.
As soon as we know, you will know. That's not on that. But before we let you go, if you are wondering if medical cannabis is right for you, if you have questions about how cannabis could possibly help alleviate your specific symptoms, Veriheal has got you covered. Not only will we link you with a certified medical cannabis practitioner in your state who is certified to give you that approval for medical cannabis, we can answer all your questions and help you find a tailored medical cannabis routine that's right for you. To get started, visit Veriheal.com. That's Veriheal.com. We'll see you there.
Thanks for watching.